So this is our TBR for August. Am I gonna finish it? I don't know, we're already halfway through August. We're more than halfway through August. What's up, y'all? This is a book haul. What is up, my good peoples? So I don't want to say I have a problem. It's not a problem if I enjoy it, right? I don't know. What is it, the 17th? So I'm trying to finish 8 books in like 2 weeks. But anyway, I have recently been to my library. I was supposed to be returning 1 book and coming back with no books. I was getting rid of a book. Well, I never owned it, but I was getting rid of the book in the house. And I was like, no more books for a while. Because I had books, no books. I came back with like 4 books. So, we'll work on my logic later. But I'm so excited about this batch of books. Like, I'm so excited. I must share with you. I will start with the book that I actually just finished yesterday, which is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. And so it has a person of color on the cover, and I just heard that it was a good book, but I didn't hear what it was about. And I was just like, you know, okay, let's give it a try. So the primary character that you follow in the book is not actually a person of color. It is following a Jewish gentleman. So yeah, it starts in 1972. You know what? I'll just read it. I'll just read it to you. Let me get water. I gotta put my reading voice on. Okay. In 1972, when workers in Pottstown, Pennsylvania were digging the foundations for a new housing development, the last thing they expected to uncover was a human skeleton. Who the skeleton was and how it got buried there were just 2 of the long-held secrets that had been kept for decades by the residents of Chicken Hill, the dilapidated neighborhood where immigrant Jews and African Americans live side by side, sharing ambitions and sorrows. Excuse me, because his name gives me a little bit of trouble. Okay. Chicken Hill was where Moisha... okay. Chicken Hill was where Moisha and Shona Ludlow lived when Shona ran the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, which serves as the neighborhood's quirky collection of Blacks and European immigrants, helped by her husband, Moisha, a Romanian-born theater owner who integrated the town's first dance hall. When the state came looking for a deaf Black child, claiming that the boy needed to be institutionalized, Chicken Hill's residents, roused by Shona's kindness and the courage of the local Black worker named Nate Timblin, banded together to keep the boy safe. As the novel unfolds, it becomes clear how much the people of Chicken Hill have to struggle to survive at the margins of white Christian America, and how damaging bigotry, hypocrisy, and deceit can be to a community. When the truth is revealed about the skeleton, the boy, and the part the town's establishment played in both, McBride shows that it is the love and community, heaven and earth, that ultimately sustain us. Bringing his masterful storytelling skills and his deep faith in humanity to the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, James McBride has written a novel as compassionate as Deacon King Kong, and sensitive and inventive as the Good Lord Bird. So yes, that was the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. It really is a story of cooperation. It is a story of cooperation among the minority communities. Yeah, I would not say that this is an easy read, but it is very, very good. It is very compassionate. And Shona Ludlow in here, it's my girl, okay? Love her. But yeah, and you really do get to see a vast breadth, I guess, of humanity within these communities. So I just finished that, and I would recommend for sure. For me, it's I want to say it was like 4 stars. I did get a little misty-eyed at some parts, but yes, Heaven and Earth grocery store, would recommend. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For these other 7 books, I have started 2, but I haven't finished any of them. So the first one, because it is on top, is called The Bookshop by Penelope Fitzgerald, and because duh, look at who you're talking to. Of course I would pick it up. Let's see what it's about. Okay. In 1955, Florence Green, I cannot speak right now. In 1955, Florence Green, a kind-hearted widow with a small inheritance, risks everything to open a bookshop, the only bookshop in the seaside town of Hardborough. By making a success of a business so impractical, she invites the hostility of the town's less prosperous shopkeepers. By daring to enlarge her neighbors' lives, she crosses Mrs. Gammart, the local arts doyenne. Is that how you say that? I don't know. We're gonna go with that. Doyenne. Okay. Florence's warehouse leaks, her cellar seeps, and the shop is apparently haunted. Only too late does she begin to suspect the truth. A town that lacks a bookshop isn't always a town that wants one. That is The Bookshop. I am excited to read that. And yes, I am reading the description of every one, so bear with me. Ooh, another one that I am excited to read is The Tuxedo Society. This looks fun. It looks like just a romp. Okay, it looks like it is a good time. Okay, let's read it. This is what really sold me, because I read the first part of this of the description in the library, and literally within the first like 3 sentences I was just like, sold. It's coming home with me for a time. Okay. If Guy Ritchie directed a James Bond caper starring a queer 007, it might look something like this hilarious action-packed thriller about an elite society of tuxedo-clad gay super spies. I was sold. When Andrew Birnbaum, yes. When Andrew Birnbaum, a struggling actor making ends meet by working in a candle shop, gets invited by his best friend Brock to have dinner with the exclusive Tuxedo Society, his life takes an unexpected turn. What seems like a group of wealthy LGBTQ socialites gathering for cocktails and gossip quickly spirals into a world of spycraft, danger, and adventure. Andrew soon meets Reggie O'Malley, a Navy SEAL with a penchant for black tie, who recruits Andrew to join the Society's covert mission to protect national security. Armed with gadgets like exploding power bars, a yoga mat that doubles as an assault rifle, and, of course, an Amex Black Card, Andrew soon finds himself tackling enemy agents, thwarting assassinations, and facing unexpected threats everywhere. From the White House to the Vatican to the Summer Olympic Games. Bursting with Paul Rudnick's signature wit, the Tuxedo Society is a wild ride through intrigue and unexpected heroism, as Andrew discovers that saving the world might just be the role of a lifetime. So yes, that is the Tuxedo Society. I am excited to read this so much. I feel like we're getting better with the reading as this goes on. So I am stumbling, but I feel like it's good for both of us because I need to get better at reading out loud. We're here, right? Right? Yeah. This one, oh my goodness. So, quick fact about me, my 100% hands down favorite time period that I've ever learned about and would be willing to go back to as an African American person, 100% is the Harlem Renaissance. I did a report on it in I think 5th or 6th grade, and I've been hooked ever since. I adore that time period. And when I saw this one, Harlem Rhapsody, picked it up immediately. I'm like, you are coming home with me. Yes, so this is Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray. And let's find out what it is. It has a quote from Tayari Jones, who's also on my TBR. We don't need to talk about that. We're working on it. But yes, let's see what Harlem Rhapsody is about. In 1919, a high school teacher from Washington, D.C., arrives in Harlem, excited to realize her lifelong dream. Jessie Redmond Fawcett has been named the literary editor of The Crisis, the first Black woman to hold this position at a preeminent Negro magazine. Jessie is poised to achieve literary greatness, but she holds a secret that jeopardizes it all. Now, it's always pronounced Du Bois, but I always default to Du Bois. But we will remember it is Du Bois, is how it is pronounced. W.E.B. Du Bois, founder of The Crisis, is not only Jessie's boss, he is her lover. Oh. And neither his wife nor their 14-year age difference can keep the two apart. Amidst rumors of their tumultuous affair, Jessie is determined to prove herself. She attacks the challenge of discovering young writers with fervor, of finding 16-year-old County Cullen, 17-year-old Langston Hughes, and Nella Larson, who became one of her best friends. Under Jessie's leadership, The Crisis thrives, and every African-American writer in the country wants their work published there. When her first novel is released to great acclaim, it's clear that Jessie is at the heart of a renaissance in Black music, theater, and the arts. She has shaped a generation of Black literary legends, but as she strives to preserve her legacy, she'll discover the high cost of her unparalleled success. Oh, I did not read that. Okay, I did not read that before it came home with me, so okay. Sounds like tea. Okay. Whew. Please hold. Okay, up next is Theater of Marvels. It is by Leanne Dillsworth. And look at this cover. Wasn't it nice? And this looked like a Black lady silhouette, which is another reason why I picked it up. Not sorry. Unruly crowds descend on Krillick's Variety Theater. The young mixed race I knew she looked like she has melanin in her. The young mixed race actress Zilla is headlining tonight as the Great Amazonia. I don't know if I like that, but anyway, the Great Amazonia, a savage queen from the darkest Africa. Zilla, an orphan from the slums of Victorian London, knows that her rise to stardom is her ticket to freedom, and, she hopes, to high society. The absurd caricature of her role, along with the leers of the drunken audience, are simply the price she is willing to pay. Zilla's late mother made her promise to make a better life for herself, and now she's on the verge of attaining everything she's ever dreamed of. But when Krillick's newest Black actress suddenly disappears, Zilla is haunted by worry. Can she risk her own neck to save this troubled stranger? A reckless pursuit of the truth takes Zilla to the underbelly of the city, from gaslit streets to the sumptuous parlors of Mayfair, as she seeks help from both rich admirers of the Great Amazonia and notorious criminals from her past, and where she will quickly find herself torn between two powerful worlds. A stunning and deliciously immersive debut, Leanne Dillsworth's Theater of Marvels is a riveting journey across Victorian London and an unforgettable tale of race, identity, and a woman's reclamation of her fate. Wow. Y'all, this reading is getting to me. But that is Theater of Marvels. I am excited to read this one. I don't know why I said it like a question. I am. We're excited. Ooh, so this is the other book I have started. I think I'm only 30 some odd pages in to this one. I also did not put a bookmark in this. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna remember. I didn't remember. I'm probably gonna have to start it over. Why Sargasso Sea by, I think it's Jean Reese. I believe it is Jean Reese. Jane Eyre is one of my favorite classics. And this book is told from the perspective of Mr. Rochester's wife that he is locked in the attic. So I was highly interested in this one. And I wish I could read to you what it was about, but the library has put their sticker right in the middle. So can't really do that. But I do know that it is a retelling, and like I said, I started it and I think I know I'm only like 30 some odd pages, no more than 50 pages in. Right now we are currently in her home of Jamaica. I think she is a white Jamaican, I think, because it's actually been a little while since I read it, so, and I have another book in my brain, so I don't fully remember. This is another one I'm excited to read. This one looked interesting when I saw it. This one is called Stop Me If You've Heard This One by Kristen Arnett, and I want you to also know I do not like clowns. I did read the blurb for this, which is why I picked it up. I'm like, wow, this actually sounds very interesting, even though I don't like clowns. Upon further inspection, I didn't even notice that it was like clown, but it's clearly clown. Cherry Hendricks knows all about what makes something funny. She's a professional clown who creates zany fun at gigs across Orlando. Between clowning and her shifts at an aquarium store for extra cash, she's always hustling. Until she meets Margot the Magnificent, a much older lesbian magician who seems to have worked out the lines between art, business, and life. With Margot's mentorship and industry connections, Cherry is sure to take her art to the next level. Plus, Margot was sexy as hell. It's not long before Cherry must decide how much she's willing to risk for Margot and for her own explosive new act, and what kind of clown she wants to be. Equal parts bravado, tenderness, and humor, and bursting with misfits, magicians, and mimes, Stop Me If You've Heard This One is a masterpiece of comedic fiction that asks big questions about art and performance, friendship and community, and the importance of timing and jokes and in life. Wow, that was a struggle to read for no good reason. But anyway, I do need something funny. So if this is touted as funny, baby, sign me up. And then the last one is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. I was wearing my big girl panties when I decided to pick this up, because I am not like somebody who needs a book to make me cry to feel something. Like, I'm not one of those people. I am so wary of emotionally hard books. I can get traumatized by a book, which is like, I don't know what that says about me, but you know, stuff I've heard of books of like A Little Life, I'm never gonna read that book. I'm literally never going to touch that book. If it makes me cry, fine, but that is never why I'm picking up a book. I have enough in my life, in my real everyday life, to cry about. I don't want to look for it in a book. Okay? Now, Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. I roughly know what it's about, but we're going to read this blurb nonetheless. Okay. The three Blue Sisters are exceptional and exceptionally different. Avery, the eldest and recovering heroin addict turned straight-laced lawyer, lives with her wife in London. Bonnie, a former boxer, works as a bouncer in Los Angeles, following a devastating defeat. And Lucky, the youngest, models in Paris, while trying to outrun her hard partying ways. They also had a fourth sister, Nikki, whose unexpected death left the family reeling. A year later, as they each navigate grief, addiction, and ambition, they find they must return to New York to stop the sale of the apartment they were raised in. But coming home is never as easy as it seems. As the sisters reckon with the disappointments of their childhood and the loss of the only person who held them together, they realize that the greatest secrets they've been keeping might not have been from one another, but from themselves. Imbued with Coco Mellors' signature combination of humor and heart, Blue Sisters is a story of what it takes to keep living after loss, and ultimately to fall in love with life again. I can tell this is gonna make me cry. I can tell. I am somebody who has a tender spot for explorations of grief. My tender spots are mother-daughter relationships, and explorations of grief are my two biggest tender spots. I also have some rage spots too, but we ain't gotta talk about that. This is my See if I can do this gracefully. Yeah, there we go. This is my August TBR right now. Man, I don't know. You know what? Why not? So I will probably just, so I can have some easy wins, because we're all about those easy wins. I probably will do the bookshop because she is nice. She is short. The spacing in this book is also really good for quick reading. I'm gonna read this one first, and probably just to keep up with my easy wins, we're going to continue with Wide Sargasso Sea. After these two books, I'm absolutely 100% going for the Tuxedo Society. I need, after all of this serious reading, well, I don't know if it's serious, but after this deep reading, I need something fun that is, yes, that is what this is. I love a Guy Ritchie film, absolutely. So absolutely going for this immediately after these two. I feel good about it. I do feel good about it because two of them are really short. I don't know if I'm gonna finish all of them, but I can do two more for sure. And I think 100%, I know I can finish 3 of these. We're gonna see how many I get to. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope that you have enjoyed my questionable reading skills. Don't know when I'm posting this video, but I do know that in a previous video I stated I am challenging myself to have my first 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So like, comment, subscribe. Tell me, what are you reading this month? What are you planning to read next month? And I will see you next time. All right, thank you. Bye. What am I not, what is wrong with my brain right now? Why can I not read?